been told that the spike strip would be just ahead, it'd be right around here.
And he's probably, Rod had mentioned he had passed, they originally thought Avenue H, and then he had passed Avenue M, which would indicate, okay, maybe a little bit further ahead, and they have a lot of factors.
Well,
public safety and...
Very close, very close. I'm told the spike strip is just ahead.
Oof.
So let's watch this car. This is live. Honda CRX, slowing down, pulling over, perhaps seeing something up ahead.
Yeah, it
his
appears
tires look like
as if he
went over it, just went over it.
Yeah, you can tell his tires are back
there. There it goes. Spike strip obviously has worked. All right, now let's watch.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Was that a person?
Yes,
Yeah.
someone is trying to get out of the car.
Oh my goodness. All right. They're throwing things out of the car.
Looks like...
There was a person out of the car.
There may have been either another person or
that
something
first
else
thing
was
I
thrown
couldn't
out
tell.
of the car.
Let's check it out now.
He's riding on the rim.
So, if there were 3 people, we may have seen 2 people already jump out of this car with the driver still driving the rims. It's an incapacitated car, it can still move
He's
along.
still moving.
Right, this is the car itself, and it appeared to us, that's the tire, yeah.
Looks like there's nothing left of the
It
tires.
appears to us it was 2 people. And Dorothy, I'm with you. The first bit of stuff that was jettisoned out of the car.
It's hard to see if that was a person.
Or clothing, or something.
It may have been a
Second
person.
one was definitely a person, and yet the driver still continues.
It's interesting because I didn't see the spike strip, but I just saw the tires look kind of funny and spinning, and I thought, wow, it's interesting how quick it is. He's probably doing about, what, 40, 50 miles an hour?
Well, certainly slow, but you know what?
Compared to
Still
what he
moving
was
along.
doing.
Well, watch the car. Watch the way the car is moving. It's starting to sort of bounce up and down.
Yeah, I can't imagine that this can go on too much longer.
And there is either one person who jumped out or 2 who jumped out.
More of the tire.
More of the tire falling off.
And it looked like the car was going at a pretty good clip when that person or people jumped out.
Yeah. Can we pull out just a little bit and see what's around this car at this point?
That's...
Yeah. You see, it's really bobbing along here, so obviously it's,
oh, yeah, it's on its
really affected.
last wheel, hopefully. His buddy said, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'll take the fall.
And it appeared, it's really hard to tell as it happens in the moment. The first movement out of the car might have been a person.
Yeah.
The second certainly was.
But that car was really moving when someone
so
or
possibly
hit the ground hard, yes.
1 or 2 suspects, cops have them now.
Yeah. But Dorothy's
Probably
right.
a few miles
they
back.
Hit the road hard.
50 or 60.
Yeah. So if you have just joined us at 8:55, this pursuit, which has been going on an hour and 20 minutes, is not over, but certainly...
It is. He just doesn't know it.
The nature of it has changed dramatically.
One would think it would be over soon, but it's not really looking that way at the moment.
And this gives you an idea of how desperate the people are, because there's absolutely no way out of this. There's a copper, there's tons of cops around, and he just is going to keep going and riding those rims.
Well, because all the time he's in the car, he's not in custody.
Well, you don't know at this point if there's any rationality. All right, here's a perspective. As you can see, the speed is slow. The units are right there. They're taking their time. I think they understand what's inevitable
It's
here.
just a waiting game now.
And now, about 3 miles back or 4 miles back, there are 1 or 2 men. We're assuming they are men in custody. I would imagine hurt. I mean,
It looks painful.
Yeah, because that car was still moving when they jumped or slid out of that car. 8:56, it started at 7:20 this morning in Fontana, coming to its conclusion. And you, of course, wonder why the driver at this point doesn't say, the game is up, it's over, but who knows?
It's a few more minutes that he's not in jail.
Well, but quite frankly, without stopping,
tacking on those charges.
also makes it more dangerous for the driver at the conclusion. If he's resisting, it makes
Right.
it more dangerous.
Yes,
Well,
it
because they
does.
don't know if he's armed.
Exactly. And they have to treat it as if he is armed and dangerous and make him out shooting.
Right.
But that's the reality.
Right.
You must always err on the side of being too cautious here.
But it's interesting what must be going through his mind. I mean, A, he's not going very far because he's riding his rims. B, they've already caught his buddies. Chances are they're going to turn him in or they're going to find out who he is in connection with them. Anyway, there's just no way out of it.
But you're so desperate at this point.
Well, that's the whole point. Yeah, I mean, that's what they're thinking. They don't even to get in a high-speed chase to begin with. I've never seen one that's ended in the suspect getting away ever. So get this.
The cops have a pretty good record on these.
And,
Yeah.
the era of the televised high-speed chase is only about 6 or 7 years old. And you're right, in all those that have been televised, you never heard about the one who drove away and is now living in Brazil,
No.
with the bank funds that they stole.
Right.
I remember the first one so clearly. I was at Channel 2 working there
I
then.
know the one you're talking about. And
Little red Volkswagen.
Is this the one that ended in
It did not end well.
Gunfire?
shooting and death? Yes.
Oh, they killed him?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that probably, for good or not,
Started all of this.
defined a new era of television coverage of this. And as Rod Burnson, who was a police officer for 17 years, police sergeant,
LAPD.
always says, it's important to show these things. And this is just not from the, isn't this great television, will people watch, but it's also important to show these things because the lesson should be learned over and over. Yeah, there is smoke coming from the rear of the vehicle right now. Driving on rims, we saw a lot of tire being lost.
4 of them.
Yeah, there can't be much left on those rims.
A couple minutes ago, the driver threw some debris from the car. We have not identified what the debris might be. Stolen car, stolen back on November 7th in Moreno Valley. Identified today. Fontana police made the car as a stolen car at about 7:20 this morning. Called CHP. CHP has been on the chase ever since. A myriad of freeways, traveling, I don't know what now, about 120 miles at speeds of up to 120 miles per hour.
And still going. It's the Energizer Bunny. Still going.
Still going. If you've just joined us, there were, it appears, at least two others in the car who have bailed out. Now the car is
looks to be in
swerving
trouble.
and slowing down. Losing maybe a little control here. The rear tire is dragging. See, it's not turning. Can you see that right rear tire?
It's locked.
Right, yeah, right there.
Stand.
It is. It's dragging,
No, he's done.
leaving marks in the pavement. Really swerving now. At this point, you have to assume the end is near.
Well, those rims are now sliding. There's no control.
Slowing down.
See the sparks
slowing
coming
down.
out under the front wheel well?
Looks like perhaps slowing to a stop here. Pulling over to the shoulder.
And this is a tough time for the cops because they don't know if he's going to get out and bail, get out
This
and
is the
surrender.
scariest moment
And
of a
surrender.
very scary experience.
Does
You
he have a
also
gun?
don't know if there's one.
2
or
guys in
more.
there? Yeah.
A lot of sparks.
And I'm sure that they're trying to question one of the partners who exited the vehicle to find out how many people are in there and trying to radio ahead to the
What
cops.
you hope happens now, and it doesn't seem to be doing it, actually picking up
Speeding
speed.
up.
You hope there's an understanding that this is up, this is over, and do exactly what you're told. But
And
this
he's
car
saying,
is,
it ain't over till it's over.
he's picking up speed again.
Still going.
9:01, it started an hour and 40 minutes ago. This has been the fastest,
It's been a
highest speed chase that we've seen.
quite a testimony for the Honda Civic, I must say, the CRX.
I don't think it'll be in a commercial, though.
Because the spike strip absolutely did its job. And yet this car is still moving. Sending out smoke, one of the wheels not turning on the shoulder, but and it looked like he was going to slow and stop, but right, he's got a blinker on. Maybe he's going to make a left. Just when you think it's going to turn and stop, it doesn't.
You can't have a lot of control when your engine's going, your wheels are sparking, your back wheel's not working.
But still going.
We're still going, but not a lot of, can't think he has a lot of control over this.
But now it's just a question of waiting it out. There is no need, by the way, for dramatics here
No, the cops.
on the part of the CHP. They're content to wait it out. It makes us so much less a public safety factor. Now
It
it's
looked like
isolated.
something may have fallen off the car there. I couldn't really see. It was at the edge of the screen.
Now there's an entrance ramp. You just hope nobody's entering at this point.
I haven't seen a car on the freeway since
Yeah,
the
I
tires
think
were blown
Rod said
out.
they
They've got-
blocked off
they've
the
completely-
ramps.
Well, there's a picture that pretty much tells this story, doesn't it?
It's doing about 25 miles an hour there. Gotta be running out of juice soon.
There were at least 3 people. We're saying 3 because it looked like 2 bailed out. Now, 10, 15 minutes back, 10 minutes back. But the CRX has been spike stripped. It's
Very
running,
effectively.
It's running on wheels,
Rims.
but you know what? Through thick and
Sparking,
thin, the blinker
smoking.
works.
Hazards are on.
Well,
There goes a rim
this
there.
is
Did you see
hazardous.
that? Did you see?
Now we're at wheels. I was premature. But at
Still
this point,
going.
still going, and
Slowing though.
every time it starts slowing, and you think he's going to stop,
Takes off.
he's got to know at this point it's as over as it can be, and now it's a question
It was
of
over when it started.
is there a rational person behind the wheel, or is it somebody just
Then
really pressing his luck?
the argument can be made: what rational person takes the cops on a high-speed chase to begin with?
Right, but
well, I guess there are levels of
yeah,
rationality.
even at that level, when it's over, it's clear it's over. What is the point at this point?
He's swerving again.
Yeah, he's slowing, he's swerving, but still going.
Oh, look how slow the cops are
Really
going.
Yeah, they're
now.
just
down.
creeping.
10 miles an hour, maybe. He's going to drive it into the ground.
Literally, and I think that's happening.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's pulling over.
That's
Uh-oh.
it. That's it.
Look at the major smoke coming out
All
now.
the smoke, which is unfortunate right now because it obfuscates
Yeah.
what he's doing there.
Yeah, there he goes, hands up. He's out, he's surrendering.
All right, he's giving up. And there is just one left in the car, apparently. Again, you are on the side of safety. Now going through the drill. You've seen this before.
Make him lie
CHP
down.
telling him what to do. Lie down on the ground.
Hands
Flatten
above
out.
your head.
Spread eagle. Hands behind your back.
About,
Now there's no need to do anything.
Cops get their
dramatic.
man. Another one for the cops.
They have to. I believe they still have to. As you see, this CHP officer holding a gun. There's also a question, unless they are clear that there's nobody else in the unit, in the vehicle, in the car,
And the car is smoking.
down on the ground. The end of the fastest high-speed chase pursuit that we have seen started well over 100 miles.
There goes the other
ago.
officer going to check out the car to make sure
With
with
the
his
gun
gun
drawn.
drawn.
It's a
Just
dangerous.
to be on the
It's a
safe side.
very dangerous time because you don't know if there's somebody in that other.
Mind you, I don't think anybody else could be sitting in that smoked car, breathing in those fumes, but you never know.
But they have
Desperate
to
measures.
approach each situation as
Right.
if there could be somebody there.
Desperate measures.
And miles back, there is one or are 2 others who bailed out while the car, after the spike strip was used, and the car was slowing down, but still moving at a clip, who bailed out. So we'll find out what happened to them as well. Leading him off.
It's interesting, this car was stolen way back on November 7th, so it makes you wonder, these suspects have had it since that time? Have they been laying low and just decided to take it out, you know?
All right, Rod Burnson.
Steve
Rod
Edwards.
Burnson, go ahead,
Yeah,
Rod.
back with you. Sorry about that.
Quite all right.
Suspect
No
in
problem.
custody, and not a moment too soon. Vinny, go ahead and pan back over to the car. About 5 miles ago, the Highway Patrol notified the fire department that they were going to need him, and there you can see it. That's a result of driving on the rims and ultimately on the drums of the car. Suspect got out, bailed out of the car. It was fully full of smoke, so he didn't have much choice. He had to get out of the car. As you can see, he's in custody, handcuffed, put into that car. Now, he'll be taken all the way back into the Fontana area by the Highway Patrol. As you mentioned, 1, possibly 2 other suspects bailed out of the car. I wasn't sure on the first thing that we saw come out of the car. The second thing, second person to come out of the car, we definitely saw hit the ground. The car was still probably traveling 20, 25 miles an hour, or maybe a little more, a little less. It's difficult to say. hit the pavement pretty hard. The backup officers immediately took those suspects into custody, and we understand that both the suspects, one, possibly two suspects, have been transported to the hospital. And you can see the car is burning there, and until the fire department can get there, it's going to continue to smolder like that. They do have the freeway shut down. This is the 14 freeway. Past Avenue A, let's see. Yeah, past Avenue A is where this is. And there it goes. The car has just broken into flames. Vinny pushing on the car. As you can see, that's a result of all that heat, all that friction building up. And now the car's broken into flames. CHP coming up there with a fire extinguisher, trying to put the flames out. See if he can, if he's successful doing that.
Rod?
Yeah, Steve.
What can you tell us about was it two people who bailed out?
It looked like two, Steve. The first object that came out, that could have been a person. It was difficult to see because we were going so fast. The second person to come out of the car, we definitely saw him, a young white kid, blonde hair, hit the pavement, hit the freeway very hard. See how a patrol officer continues to try and shut those, put the flames out with their own fire extinguishers. And as I understand, one, if not two, have been transported to the hospital. You have to ask yourself, and you have been asking yourself, and so have a lot of people at home, why did they run? Why did they keep running? Why did they risk this kind of danger? Why bail out in the middle of nowhere and see if they were going to be able to escape on foot and run where? Into the desert? And a lot of people say, well, what are these people thinking? And of course, the perfect answer to that is, I'm not sure these people really are thinking. And, they just get pretty desperate and decide that the best thing to do is
Well,
to keep running.
Rod, you imagine with two or three in the car, there's a huge debate going on.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, and certainly one or more might be saying, why don't we just give this up before we kill ourselves? Or worse, we kill somebody else, we end up spending the rest of our life in prison, or 20, 25 years in prison as a result of that. Or they could be unanimous. No, let's just keep going as long as the car's running.
Rod, in terms of charging the suspects here, it does escalate as it goes on. What's the biggest range of charges they can have against them?
Well, it's going to start off everything from the traffic infractions of exceeding the speed limit and all the unsafe lane changes. That's on the ridiculous low end, and on the other end, they're going to be facing stolen vehicle charges as well as felony evading charges. Not to mention reckless driving, and perhaps they might even look at some of the instances, and as the Highway Patrol goes along its podcast.
Oh, there's quite a shot there. Look how much smoke is coming out of that car.
Some onlookers
Some
there.
onlookers. We have
an audience.
The onlookers.
Not a lot of onlookers
There's more
out
of
there, but
more of a scenic shot. It's the end of what has been a long, oh, that's why there's so much smoke.
can you imagine the person who owned this car seeing this on TV?
There's my car.
Yeah.
Not much trade-in
They found
value.
it. But you got to wonder about the other people in the car. I mean, we don't know if it was their choice to go along.
No, you don't know. And perhaps when you saw the first and second people bail out, they bailed out very dramatically. That wasn't, it didn't look to me, and again, this is all speculation, but it didn't look like there was an agreement to do anything. And as soon as the car slowed down a little, they bailed out. It was at great danger to themselves. So, I think it is not off base to speculate that they want to get out. They weren't agreeing with the driver who wanted to continue on, because they hit the ground hard. Be very curious to find what kind of condition they're in.
So they have been transported to the hospital. They're on their way, those two. This third suspect, the driver of the car, is still, I think, in the back seat of one of the cruisers there.
And the car's just going up in smoke.
You wonder whether they should take this car, since it's ruined, put it off to the side, and leave it as a reminder.
Encase it in bronze.
Yeah, of what can happen.
Don't let this happen to you.
Yeah.
It wouldn't do anything. I don't think it would deter any more people. I really don't.
People get desperate. People would paint graffiti on it and steal it.
Try to hotwire it.
Yeah. You saw a fire truck come by now, so they're ready to put the big water on it probably. Here they come with the hose. Quite a chase. Started at 7:20 this morning. And if you've joined us late, when we say quite a chase, it's because it was so fast. I mean,
120 miles an hour?
120 miles an hour.
You know, we call these things high-speed chases, but quite often they're not.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, there was the famed white Bronco low.
That was a low speed chase.
Pursuit. But mostly, you're right, they're in traffic, and they're not. All right, this should put the fire out. Very persistent fire in that car. That car traveled all the way from Fontana on the 10 to the 210, went north and picked up the 210 there, where it starts right off of Foothill Boulevard, and took the 210 to Pasadena, took the 210 up into the hills, down to the 5 up to the 14, the 14 all the way through Palmdale, and then Lancaster. The spike strip was deployed in Lancaster, and it did its job. I mean, this car hung on for a while, but it did its job. It did exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, we always imagine a spike strip ending in boom, you know, the car just loses control or stops right away. But it took a while. It took a few miles, probably.
And one or two, and you know, I don't want to definitely say it was two, because I'm not sure.
No, and Rod wasn't sure either.
First object or person that went out of the car, but certainly one person bailed out while the car was still moving in a clip, hit the ground hard, and perhaps two. We saw the car when it moved over the spike strip, pulled off, you know, pulled over to the side, perhaps to try to avoid. I'm not sure quite what was going on there. And then the nature of this pursuit really changed. And in truth, you saw how well the spike strip worked. It really did work. All right, let's go back to one of our questions here about what happened after they crossed the spike strip. We have some tape of this, and you watch along with us, and we'll see. Door opening, the car is slowing down. Let's see what we see. Car door open.
Person
yeah. Hitting that ground hard.
Okay, that was the second person we saw.
Yes, and almost run over.
By the cop car.
We're getting a suggestion here that the first person out may not have been a person, may have been a knapsack.
Right. That's what we weren't sure.
So you certainly can speculate that there was disagreement within the car.
You guys thought it might have been a person. I didn't see it.
No, disagreement with the driver and the one who got out. Because the one who got out said, that's it, it's over. The driver kept going.
Well, that's what Rod said. You don't know if there are 3 people in a car, or now possibly 2. Maybe one says, hey, come on, I don't want to
And here's the moment that the driver is now under the control of CHP, being told what to do. Down, now go down flat. And that was earlier. And this is a live shot now as the firefighters are there. Pretty much got that one under control. So the latest we're hearing is the first one was probably a knapsack, not a person? Apparently. $9:15 is the time right now. They start at 7:20. What a high-speed chase this was.
And the television crews are there.
But what else? But of course. You know, I asked this question and I haven't gotten a satisfactory answer, and I'd like to do a little research on this. If we're living in Cleveland, are there high-speed chases on television all the time?
No, I don't think so. Not when I lived up there.
I wonder, too, I'd like to see the statistics. Are there more chases now because we put them on television in Southern California?
Well, you know what?
Or were we just not aware of them before?
We just didn't cover them before the way we do now. But also in Southern California, with more freeway miles and more cars and driving so much a part of the culture, obviously, we're probably going to have more. But what if you live in St. Louis or Pittsburgh? You know,
you guys have lived in a lot of cities.
Yeah. Well,
I've lived in Miami.
But this is sort of a newer phenomenon, or so it seems. At least us covering it on television.
5 or 6 years, yeah.
Newer.
Certainly. There is the end of it. Have they just closed this down there?
And you know what? The other cop cars are gone, so it looks like they took the suspect off, that he's gone.
All right, here's how it ended. Car finally stopped after it kept going and going and going. Finally stopped, smoke and flames, and there is the driver. A very familiar scene now at the end of these chases. And in fact, the best way that, that this could end, this could possibly end.
It's not a good look at the driver, but he looks very young.
Yeah. No cars have crashed, no innocent bystanders hurt, no shots fired. That's about all you can ask for. Now, do we have tape of the spike strip moment itself? I wonder if we can go back to that. (9:18) is our time. Firefighters are there. Pretty much that fire has been wetted down and done in.
Look at that car.
The driver of the car. If I asked you to identify what kind of a car that is now, you'd have a hard time. The driver of that car has been put under arrest, taken away. We know that either two people jumped out of the car and hit the ground hard, or one person and one knapsack left the car. And the knapsack hit the ground hard too, if it indeed was that. We'll have more information on that as we go along here. There is the fire retardant on the ground there, the white stud, in case you're wondering what that is. One of the longest chases, starting in Fontana, ending up here in Lancaster.
Certainly one of the fastest.
Traveling a myriad of freeways, the 10, the 210, the 5, the 14.
Some nice scenery.
All right. All right.